Welcome back to the F123 driver career. We are round 3 of season 2 here now at China on the back of the rather horrendous Australian Grand Prix weekend. We expect, we pray, we hope that the Chinese Grand Prix weekend is going to go significantly better. The car, comparatively on paper to everybody else, has taken a jump. So I'd love to challenge for a podium here, but I don't know how relative a jump that might be actually on concrete or asphalt as it is to the performance index. But certainly we should be competitive here now. 5th in Bahrain, we were very happy with that. Australia was Australia. And it was just buggy with the tyre pressures, or with the tyre temps even. Here in China, fully dry for every session that matters, so we should be more like Bahrain and very competitive again. That's the expectation. Anyway, do drop the video a like if you're enjoying this driver career. It'd be great to have you subscribe to this ChesnoidPlays channel as well if you're not already. And do come across and join me live on stream, either on YouTube at the Chesnoid Live channel or on Twitch. Links in the description down below to both, where you can see all of the behind the scenes including practice and every qualifying run, etc. and the full race. But I'm going to go and just get practice done and dusted. You don't really care about that. We'll head straight to qualifying once we know exactly how many performance parts we can upgrade with our development points that we're going to get from the practice sessions. So without waiting any further, let's go. General consensus from practice is that we have pace, but we have significantly high tyre wear as well, which isn't a surprise around China given the nature of the circuit. And certainly in the Creator Series race that we did here, tyre wear was high as well, but obviously that was for everybody across the board, whereas the AI have better tyre wear than the user around China. But we did purposefully select a harder tyre compound set for this race, so we might have counteracted that already. I do need to make sure that I put on, there you go, to confirm, I'm running a harder tyre, so I'm going to have an extra set of hard and or medium tyres for the race, which will work very much in our favour. We're going to need to change over components to put some lesser worn bits in for qualifying and the race to ensure that we don't take any early grid penalties this season, but that's not a problem. We're going to hopefully be competitive, and it's going to be better than Australia. I think that's all I need to say. Quali next. A low 31 required. A low 31 achieved. P9, I think that was. Indeed it was. P9 in Q1. With time to find for sure. And only 3/10 off, to be fair. Any shock exclusions? No, both Williams, both Haas, and Yuki in the AlphaTauri. No shock eliminations at this stage. Quite close, though. Only 7/10 between 1st and 15th on a track this long is actually a damned close grid. 30.3 from George. Okay, that's lightning fast. I've not got a 30.3 in me, that's for sure. At the minute, we're on for about a 30.7. We're at 30.6 or 7? 30.5. Okay, so I was only a couple of tenths off George. That's P5 in Q2. George was a 30.2, and I don't think anyone else went faster. So we're still there or thereabouts. Definitely struggling down the straight compared to everyone else. Alex Albon with a 5-place grid penalty for something. And a shock exit again. Hits a Ferrari. It's Carlos Sainz for the second time. Was it Sainz or Leclerc that was out early in Australia? May well have been Sainz there as well. But regardless of which one it was over the other, a Ferrari is out in Q2. Live chat is telling me it was Sainz last time as well. So Carlos Sainz with 2 Q2 exits in a row. Again, in Q2, I'm right with my teammate. But whether we can keep that up for Q3, where we did certainly take a step backwards in Australia, we'll wait and see. We were P4 in Australia in Q2, but P9 when push came to shove in Q3. We'll see what happens this time. We need a 130.5 or lower to be in the front in the first 2 rows. The first 3 rows even, probably. So I need to find about 1.5 seconds on the delta at least. Lewis with a 29.8 extends his advantage. It's Lewis Hamilton on provisional pole at the moment. We are gaining time though. At the moment, we're on for a 30.1-ish. The minute will be top 5 if our delta stays around about where it was. This might be pole. That might be pole.
Okay, good job, mate.
Pole! Yes! How's that for a response to Australia? P1! Let's go! Get in! Thrilled with that. Progressively getting faster and faster as the sessions went by. And then when it counts, we nailed it. By less than a tenth from Lewis Hamilton. There was 4 drivers in the 29s. Oh, big lap! Big lap! Now, with tyre wear being as high as it is, for me as a user here against the AI, that is not a guaranteed pole to the end of the race victory. We're still going to have to fight very hard in the Grand Prix, and I expect to be weak down the straight compared to everyone else as well. So, not only am I going to be running harder tyres, I'm probably going to be running more downforce as well, but couldn't start from anywhere better. Oh, was it Alex Albon that had a 5-second grid penalty, I believe? Other than that, I don't know as anyone else will be picking up a pen. Lance Stroll wasn't too slow. I think he was 7th or 8th, perhaps. But the front 4 drivers, all English. As an Englishman, love to see that. Stroll does start 7th. Sainz is 12th. Ferrari 10 and 12. That is not a strong session for them whatsoever. Albon, as we are aware, with a 5-place grid penalty and starts P19. It's his, in real life, Williams teammate Logan Sargent that starts alongside him at the back of the grid. Now, what is everyone else doing tyre-wise? A lot of mediums, a couple of hards. I am tempted to go medium, hard, medium in this race without having looked at the strategy.
Okay, here we go.
And that's what it recommends is the fastest way to go about it. So, and that is peak with regards to projected race time. That is peak. 20, 16, 20. We'll see what we can do. Going to be pushing the tyres into the... Fuel's probably going to be quite high here. We're going to be... But I'll leave it as is. I'm not going to do anything with the fuel. Tyre wear is going to be high. So we're going to be pushing the tyres into the early 40s, probably percentage-wise. But we know we can always extend that middle hard stint if we need to. So 20, 18, 20 is the current plan. 16, 20. And then if we need to adjust it from there, we can. But we, as well as everybody behind us, back to Piastri, will be medium. There's only a handful of soft runners throughout the entire grid. Ocon will be going long on hards. Gasly will be going long on hards. So Alpine taking a strategical risk. Here goes nothing. From pole, where do we finish? 0.6. 0.6 is all right. It's not amazing. Lewis is bang on the money. Lando is bang on the money. I think the AI just go at 0.0, right? I don't know as I've ever really questioned it. I don't know if there's any deviance in that. I think they all just start right at the front of their grid box, which is frustrating, but what can you do? Nothing. What I can do is hopefully get a good start. And it's not a long hold. We've had an okay start. Not sensational. I will move across to try and cover off Lewis. Lando going one way and getting right out of it. Lando Norris is going to lose loads of positions at the start here. He got a loss of grip in the dirty air. And he's dropped, actually he's only dropped as far as P5. He's been able to at least maintain something, so fair play. You can see already the difference in straight line speed. As Lewis was closing in on me there, I'm going to have strong, really strong middle and first, middle and basically the middle third of the lap. It's, or more than the third, the middle half of the lap, if you know what I mean. Like the last quarter of the lap and the first quarter of the lap, I am not going to have the pace. I didn't have much grip there either, but hopefully with the use of the ERS and a bit of slipstream and DRS if needed, we will be able to be competitive. But certainly in a straight line, I'm not going to have it today. But we know that coming in, so we can work around it. It's not a problem. At the minute, pole to second as we get a better exit than George Russell there, as he was tight on the apex. And I am going to have to use my battery quite a lot. It's at the top endlet where they start gaining on me. See George coming in my rear view. I had to use quite a bit of battery there. And he was still closing on me. At the minute, with me holding those up behind and Lewis gaining by a couple of tenths or more so a lap, it's his race to lose right now. About half a second or more a lap slower than Lewis right now. There is nothing I can do against George here.
Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
All I've got to hope to do is to stick with George's DRS. If I can do that, then we can get carried along. But I've got a quick McLaren on soft tyres behind me now, but his soft tyres are going to wear quite quickly. George has already gained 8 tenths on me down that one bloody straight with DRS. Curious on pit strategies for those around me.
Tyres are 3 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining.
So George is 2 stops.
1:34.9. Come on, mate, we're dropping back by a second a lap.
I know.
Their tyres are 3 laps old. Okay, we think they've got at least 3 more stops.
Okay, so
Last lap was a 1:35.3.
Piastri is on a 3-stopper. Piastri on softs is 3-stopping. I don't have the straight line speed. I just quite simply don't have the straight line speed. But with Piastri having an extra stop, we're still very much in the hunt for a podium. Especially potentially factoring in an undercut. Knowing we can extend that hard tyre stint. Piastri's tyres are already going to be complaining. We've got 10% on the fronts after 5 laps. So we are going to be pushing. We are going to be pushing the 40s.
Caution.
Yellow flag. That's the Mercedes going slowly. That is George Russell retiring with an engine failure. Well, that's a free position. Back onto the podium we step right now. See you, George, pal. Ta very much, mate. Appreciate that. Now it really is Lewis Hamilton's race to lose. 5 seconds down the road. With nobody even remotely close to him. George is out and gone. And, crucially, I do have DRS here off the back of Piastri. Albeit not for long. If I can't close this gap back up, because it's going to be Lando that comes past me now. It's fine. We can manage it. Still, Piastri's 3-stop is working in our favour. Still confident of a podium at this stage. Not sure whether I've got DRS or not. I don't think so. I do. It's good news. Keep me competitive. Down to P5 currently. But we are going to be able to use strategy to our advantage. Of that, I'm certain today. It's the tyre wear and the extra downforce that's a bit of a problem here at the minute. It's fine. Still managing everything accordingly. Not too concerned right now. The two McLarens are fighting, which is just going to help everybody else behind them. Piastri's gone very deep there. And now when everyone else starts to fight, this is where it brings us back into it again. Obviously not going to have it in a straight line speed here every lap, but I know I can at least be competitive around the majority of the lap. They're going to be 3 wide in front.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
Actually going to have a look up the inside of Max again. Piastri loses 2 places there in the one corner. And my teammate is now P2. Lance Stroll disappearing potentially down the road. Piastri's tyres are going to be really giving him some grief now. Mine are at 15% on the front and 14 on the rears. But my tyre wear is about 10 to 15% higher than the AI. So Piastri's tyres are probably about the same as mine right now. They might be a little bit worse. Judging by how slow he is around here, I go as far as to say they are worse. Bit of a lunge. But we're alright. That's P4 again. I'm hoping Piastri could be a bit of a roadblock for those behind again. If they start battling. Can help earn us a bit of a gap. And if Lando and Lance get side by side into the hairpin at the end of the straight here, because Lando's going to have DRS, and that's going to significantly help me as well. Have to use quite a bit of battery here. Max goes for it on Piastri. Lando not going for it on Lance. Oscar is going for it on me. I want to have the traction all around the outside to keep the position. Now we actually need our teammate to try and back Lando up into me here, which is not going to happen. But I know that we can do 3 18-lap stints on each set. A medium 18 laps, a hard 18 laps, and then a medium 18 laps again. Tyre wear will be high, but if it saves us a stop, it saves us a stop. And if I'm undercutting at any point on any of those, then that's a bonus. If we're not undercutting, then we should be on a softer compound at the end of the race. I think those that are on mediums at the minute are going to go medium, medium, hard, rather than medium, hard, medium like myself. Lando's a bit closer this lap. Piastri's a bit further away this lap. Trying to get the power down is troublesome around there. That's cost me thick end of half a second. Lovely. Lando's not really making much of a headway on Lance at the minute. Here comes Verstappen past Piastri behind. Lando just can't cope with the pace of Lance at the minute. Even with DRS, he's not in a position to get past. Verstappen is now past Piastri. Piastri will have the inside line for this final turn though, so he might be able to maintain the position, and indeed does so, and falls behind me out of DRS range. Now that is huge for our Grand Prix. If I can maintain that for the rest of the lap, then I'll be very, very, very happy. This is a crucial lap for me now. Right, I'm going to try and save some battery now. Perez has actually passed Verstappen. The two Red Bulls have switched positions. And Piastri still out of DRS range of me. But Perez is looking to get the move done. If he does, that'll close him back up to me within the space of about a lap to within DRS range. And Perez is officially passed. So my Piastri roadblock is losing its effectiveness more and more as time goes by. 5 seconds in front. Lewis still probably a further 5 or more in front of them. Verstappen is past Piastri now as well, as Piastri boxes on lap 12. So Oscar Piastri into the pits on 12 on a 3-stopper. I'm probably going to go for the whole 18 laps, 18 laps, 18 laps idea. God, they are slow around Sector 1 though. You can see why I was getting a purple Sector 1 in qualifying and then losing all of my time in the 3rd sector. Seeing you set up a certain way for something, and it means you're not set up for a different part of the track. Spa's always the example, isn't it? You either set up for the straight line speed for sectors 1 and 3, or you set up for the middle sector. Gasly up to P7 on his hards now. He's past Piastri as well, although Piastri's boxed, hasn't he? I just forgot that. Verstappen will have me here. I'm curious to know if the hard-tired runners are one-stopping or not. So I'll now ask about Gasly. No, they're still two-stopping. Front tyres now are over 25%. Rears are not far off, or may well have just gotten there. They've just gotten there. We're thinking a lap, pitting in 4 laps' time. No, I needed a better exit than that. Or maybe. It's close. Yeah, should have DRS. And do, but... that oversteer is going to kill me. For Christ's sake. That's P7. Falling backwards at the moment, but this one's hopefully going to come back to us at some point. I'm expecting some of these medium runners to go in about lap 16, I was going to say. That's Gasly in on 15. And the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz in as well. But that, to be fair, is a hard runner on a 3-stop. No, sorry, hard runner on a 2-stop. And a soft runner on a 3-stop. There's also a couple of other drivers in there as well. So they're going to undercut me. But then hopefully later in the race, we'll undercut them. Or, if we pit about the same time, we'll at least just have a tyre advantage because they'll have gone a little bit further than us in this middle stint. I'm curious, is everybody that pitted, were they all on softs or hards? No, so Zhou Guanyu has pit medium to medium. Yuki's gone medium to medium. Logan went medium to soft. Ocon and Gasly have both gone hard to medium. Piastri's gone soft to hard. Valtteri, the only soft runner still running, having not pit on lap 17 as we're heading on to now. So it's all medium runners and one soft runner left. And then the rest are all lapping behind. In a minute, we'll come out 14th when we box. We will be boxing next lap, 18. If neither Red Bull comes in this lap, I might be tempted. I might be tempted to box this lap. Go 17, 19, 18. Teammate and the McLaren still going. If neither Red Bull's in here, I am gumming. In we come. We're going to try and undercut. Going to go from mediums to hards. Try and undercut the Red Bulls a little bit if possible. If not, just close the gap. Good stop. Excellent stop. 2.2 seconds. Had one of the Alfa Romeos in behind me as well. Comes a Haas around the outside of me, but I've got the inside line. We'll keep the position on him. That's K-Mag on a fresh set of softs. So he actually might be quite quick. Sainz has gone softs again. Sainz, I think Sainz has gone soft. Sainz might well have gone soft. He has indeed. Sainz and Magnussen have both gone soft. Right, tyres are close to temperature. Magnussen is on a softer set behind me. And obviously will be quicker down the straights. Teammates in this lap. As is Sergio Perez. So we're only going to get a 1-lap undercut on Checo. we'll get a 2-lap undercut on Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton was also in. Let's not lose too much time here, please, K-Mag. We have an undercut situation going on. Stuck on the curb a little bit there.
By 27.3 seconds.
I'm going to go for it up the inside. Excuse me. Kevin, thank you. Checo's come out. Sorry, Max Verstappen's come out behind me. So we have massively undercut.
Okay, so the gap to the car ahead,
2.3
seconds.
Verstappen had, what, a 3 or 4 second advantage on me? Now he's 2 seconds behind, and he's gone medium. So they'll be running hards at the end of the race. Whereas we will be running mediums at the end of the race. And I think they'll probably extend this middle medium stint quite a way. Comes Kevin again. He's gone deep. Just use the DRS off the back of him again.
The car behind's just boxed for mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre now.
Perez in the pits and Perez out of the pits. Try and make the same move on K-Mag this time that I did last lap. I am. Oh, I was about to say I'm not going to be able to do so. I have just managed to squeeze past K-Mag. With Max Verstappen closing on fresh tyres, I want to try and stick with Perez in this group in front now if I can. It can be hard to do on a harder compound with more worn tyres, but we'll give it a go. Lots of battling going on in front here. Big battle in front. 4 cars into the hairpin. Between cars that have pitted and cars that have not. Bottas, I believe, is still running on those original soft tyres. He may well be boxing now. He's not. Baffling decision from Valtteri or from Alfa Romeo to stay out on these softs as long as they have. Really surprised at that. I'm going to try and nip up the inside of him as well here, which we've done nicely. Ocon, Sainz and Perez now running right with us. Not sure if anyone picked up any damage from all of that close action there. Bottas still continually falling further and further back. These three being all together like this is definitely helping our race here. It's just helping us gap those behind and stick with these guys in front. Just come the end of the race, when they're on hards and we're on mediums, will hopefully very much play in our favour. Sainz has still got 2 more stops as well. So Carlos Sainz isn't really a factor here. He's still got 2 more stops to make. That's Checo losing an end plate. He's driven into the side of Carlos Sainz there, and Sergio Perez has now got front wing damage and may well be into the box here. We've nudged him out of position there as well, because he's got a real lack of downforce now coming around that corner, but he's going to have plenty of straight line speed, that's for sure. But he's probably going to be into the box this lap. You can see the front side of that car is just missing. The front side of that wing is just missing. Trying to stay within a second of Carlos Sainz here. Got my braking point a bit wrong there. And Checo is in. So that's him now, I'd imagine, no longer a factor for the rest of the race. So that's him and Sainz out of the running for a potential top 5 finish. Won't be too long before we've got a significant tyre advantage on Sainz, because those softs are going to be really worn. If we get this part of the track right, we might be able to maybe take both of these guys into the hairpin. Sainz with worse traction, although a higher top speed evidently, and Ocon with no DRS. Is he going for it? He's thinking about it, Carlos. I'm going to go for it on Sainz. We get the move done. That's P7. Now Ocon.
Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a...
Okay, so Ocon's still got 2 stops left.
Okay, so you're gaining by 8 tenths. 8 tenths.
Ocon's on a 3 stop as well, so he's not a factor either. So at the minute, we're looking at a P6, unless we're able to close the gap on those in front. But I'd say we're on for at least a P6 right now. And I've just noticed as well, Max Verstappen is also running at the back with Sergio Perez. So both Red Bulls have come into contact with someone else and have had to pit for an extra front wing. Within a lap of each other. Max did it first, Checo did it second, and both Red Bulls have thrown their race away. That's Max Verstappen no longer a factor with me as well. We're on for a solid P6 at least here now then. Obviously, having started pole, it's not great, but P6 is certainly significantly better than the P15 we got in Australia, isn't it? Ocon with no damage though, seemingly. Just not got much pace right now. Excuse me, Esteban. Thank you, sir. Bye. Alright, 5 seconds to Piastri, whose hard tyres are going to be significantly older than mine, because he pit off softs on like lap 12.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please.
Whereas we pit 5 or 6 laps later.
Hard tyres. Their tyres are 12 laps old.
Yeah.
Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining.
Piastri's still got 2 stops, so Piastri's on a 3 stop as well. I don't know whether the 3 stop is going to work for Piastri either, you know. It might do. He might have enough of an advantage to make it work against us. But that might be an outside chance of a top 5 or maybe even 4. The podium looks like it's gone. If you see Lewis Hamilton on them, start-finish straight, as well as Lando Norris, and my teammate's currently on for a podium for the team, which would be great. Try and undercut. Or switch back, sorry. Esteban Ocon here. Cut under him, but I can't.
Position. Try to keep focus.
I have DRS here though, so that's fine. Make the same move again. Hi Esteban, remember this. That feel familiar, does it, pal? 4.6 to Piastri. That gap is coming down slightly.
Okay,
with the help of DRS, but it's coming down slightly.
0.7 seconds.
14% front left. We're not planning on stopping until lap 38. Right, no mistakes now. Let's go and get that McLaren. In fact, that McLaren is pitting. Okay. Piastri making his second pit stop quite early, actually. So he's only done 14 laps on that set of hards. That's going to give him... Yes, he's got to make an extra stop. But that is going to give him 11 or 12 laps worth of an undercut on us, where he probably can make up for that extra stop. We'll wait and see what tyre compound he goes to. Piastri may still be a factor yet. But we're up to P5. Gasly in P4, and I don't know what strategy he's on or how old his tyres are. He went hard medium, I think, didn't he? Yeah, he's... One more stop. Okay, so Gasly's on the same strategy as me. Gasly's on the same strategy. He's going to mediums next. I'm going to mediums next. So it's just a case of who's going to have the pace between now and the next pit stop. His tyres will probably wear at about the same rate as mine, so it might be a bit of a dead heat between me and Pierre Gasly right now. Norris in the pits. McLaren in the box. So he's pitting similar to his teammate. I wonder if Lando's also on a 3-stop. Unless he goes hards now, in which case he could take them to the end. 28 laps or so. It's a bit long stint, but it's possible. I'll ask about Lando. See what they reckon. We're just going to get past him here. Yeah, so he's still... Lando's still making an extra stop here. McLaren on a 3 stop. I think they were on a 2, weren't they? Piastri was always on a 3. I don't know actually maybe whether I knew about Lando. It's a relatively long stop here. Captain Gasly's remarkably come down. I didn't see when that happened. Gone from 7.2 to 6.6. I don't know whether he made a mistake somewhere. Possibly. Gasly's really quick this year. Or this second season. He got a podium in Bahrain, didn't he? Gasly finished P3 in Bahrain. Currently running P3, a net P3 here in China as well. With the McLaren still with extra stops to make. Ocon, Leclerc and Lando Norris are all in a trio behind me here, battling it out very, very hard indeed. They can cost each other time, that'd be great, but that's Esteban Ocon out of that fight because he's just dipped into the pits. Whether that was enforced by contact, I don't know. We can check a little bit later once he's out of the pits to see if he did change his wing or not. Whether that's a strategical stop or an enforced one, I'm not sure. 5 seconds to that group behind. We're stopping in 9 laps time. Gap to Pierre Gasly is still coming down. Stroll is still going very strong in P2, yeah. That's Norris past Leclerc. Lando's going to be on a charge now. Unless Leclerc can fight back somehow, which I doubt. That's Lando Norris on a charge to come and get me. I get a significant advantage out of turn 3. Sorry, out of turn 2 on Pierre.
5.0 seconds.
That's where we're gaining our time on Pierre at the minute. Is in traction zone. So his medium tyres must have reached 25% on the rear. Ours aren't quite there yet. But look at the gap to Lando just plummet. On those fresh tyres compared to our now 13 lap old ones. Gasly's really struggling. Lando's right with me now. So at the minute, it looks like we will probably finish ahead of Pierre, but behind Lando. Or at least we'll be battling with Pierre for a P4 come the end of the race. That's how I envisage it playing out right now. Which is infinitely better than Australia, isn't it? Yes, Ches, yes it is. Couldn't get the power down there though, saved my life. Lando went for running outside, got stuck in the dirty air and washed out wide again. Not the first time we've done that today, is it, Lando? Flashbacks to lap 1. And turn 1 of lap 1. I thought so. The gap to Gasly massively opened down that straight. He used a lot of battery.
We're approaching the pit window.
He used loads of ERS down the back straight to get himself a bit more of an advantage going into the pits. So Gasly's now making his final stop. We'll have a 4 or 5 lap undercut on us, but we'll have to go a long way on his final stint. It's going to be a real battle between me and Pierre, I think, to see who comes out in P4 or ahead of each other regardless of the positions. A proper strategical battle. Currently 2 Aston Martins on the podium, although that will change shortly. A certain papaya car will be P3 very soon. By very soon, we mean now. Bye, Lando. Oof. That was a sharper swing than I thought it was going to be. It's Pierre Gasly doing a 33.4, fastest lap of the race.
Push now. We're boxing this.
We are not boxing this lap. We're boxing 38. We'll come out 8th when we pit. Which is with that train behind the Ferrari. Or just in front of that train with a Ferrari currently. between the Haas and the Ferrari is where we'll come out. If Lando boxes at any point between now and lap 38, I will cover it. Or I will box at the same time, but I don't think Lando's gonna pit anytime soon. I'd be tempted to pit 37, but I think 38 is probably the better call. Piastri and Leclerc having a bit of a battle there. I might need to. Oh yeah, I'm in this lap. So I might need to pit to more cover off Piastri than I am Lando. We should probably be thinking more and more about the McLaren behind rather than that McLaren in front. Daniel Ricciardo sets the fastest lap of the race in an Alfa Romeo. Shows you how much pace there is available from a fresh set. Says now 11th I'll come out. So I need to box now really to try and come out ahead of that Ferrari train. Here we go. Final stop of the race for us. Gasly's on softs. He's going so far on softs. That's not going to work. That's just not going to work. But it's because, I imagine it's because he didn't have the fresh set of tyres to go to. We purposefully... Ah, there's that Ferrari train. That's annoying. We purposefully chose a harder tyre compound collection for this Grand Prix, which is why we've now got a fresh set of mediums to go to, not a fresh set of softs. So these guys are all on softs. Gasly's on softs as well, but he's got to take those a monstrous way. I'd say right now we'd finish ahead of Pierre, even though that gap is quite sizable at the moment. His tyres are going to be so dead at the end of the race. Absolutely gone. I need to get through this lot quickly. Can't afford to lose too much time here if we do want to catch that Alpine. Getting held up here, horribly.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
Excuse me. I do like that move against the AI. Doesn't work against human opposition, so to speak, but works against the AI. They just don't anticipate it, so you could just be like, hiya. Like that. Hi, Carlos. Bye, Carlos.
Good job.
Come on.
Nice overtake.
Really need to get this done. Ocon must have some floor damage or something, because he's slow here now again. He was slow earlier, and he's slow again. Oh my god. Very slow. So slow I nearly went into the back of Zhou Guanyu because he had to slow up so much to avoid going into the back of Esteban Ocon. I've got a lot of battery now as well, so we'll try and utilise that. Ocon and Zhou Guanyu going for it, and I'll have one. I'll have two. See you, boys. Bye-bye. 2 in 1 around turn 1. We'll take it. Ta-ta. Now do those in front. Have another stop. K-Mag stopping again. I hope Leclerc is stopping again as well. But the gap to Leclerc just shows how big the gap to Piastri is. To Gasly is, doesn't it? That's what we've got to try and close down in the final 16 laps of this Grand Prix. 16 and a bit laps of this Grand Prix. Fastest lap of the race, 1:33.1. Others do have pit stops to make, so that fastest lap will not last until the end. I won't be getting an extra point from it, but we'll take it for now, as in the accolade. I do have a used set of softs I could go to that are 6% worn if there's a safety car. Or even maybe a VSC might be worth considering. But not at this stage. Not until at least 48 or later. Okay, Lance is out the pits very soon. That's a change of the lead perhaps between Lando and Lewis. Lewis just about hangs on to P1. But Lando does have another stop to make. So Lewis effectively has a full pit stops advantage in this Grand Prix. And that's Piastri and Leclerc in the box now. So that's us past them up to P6. My teammate is actually P4 now. But Stroll, you imagine, will close the gap on and then pass Pierre Gasly. We've got so much extra pace in Kevin Magnussen right now. Basically bumping him out of the way. He's so slow. He's having another look though. Still got some drive in those soft tyres. I can't afford to waste time with you here, please. Kevin. I'm after Pierre Gasly. Stroll will overtake him. Get to Gasly's 14.4 right now. That will dramatically come down by a faster and faster margin as we get further and further into this stint. We are currently looking at hunting down a P4 finish here in China. That's Lando in the box. It's Lando out of the box. Lance is right with Gasly now. So that 14 and a half second gap has come down to 12. That's Lance past Gasly. So now we can see the gap that we're closing. Come here, Pierre! Piastri 3.7 behind. I need to not forget about that McLaren as well.
Okay, you're losing a small amount of time.
Just as Mark tells me about it as well. Whilst we're gaining hand over fist on Pierre Gasly, Piastri is going to be slowly gaining on the two of us as well. Lando past Pierre. Hopefully they take some time out of each other around the hairpin. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Pierre might be able to fight back a little bit with DRS into turn 1. Gap's only half a second or so. We might get lucky. But it doesn't look like it. He's actually falling even further behind, even with DRS. Fair enough. Come on. Come back here, Mr. Gasly!
Well done, but be aware, these tyres need to get us to the end of this race.
It's not a straightforward DRS overtake. But it is an overtake. That's P4. Now, Pierre, please hold up Oscar. That would be lovely. I'd be really thankful if you could hold up Oscar Piastri as much as physically possible. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my P4. They're battling, but I think Piastri's passed. He's definitely got the inside line. And now he's a couple of tenths clear. Oscar Piastri is passed. Yep. Getting chased down by another papaya car. My P4 will probably be a P5 before the end. Still though, 2 P5s in the opening 3 races is a good starting point for the season, isn't it? Oh, when that popped up then my heart went. It's like, don't give me an engine failure now on lap 51 of 56, for Christ's sake. Ugh, wide. Oscar Piastri is going to be within DRS range of me. P4 is going to be a struggle from here. I think I've got enough pace to try and battle with Piastri. But ultimately, whether I can end up coming out in front of him at the end of the race, I doubt it. Here it comes. We might end up dipping backwards and forwards with Piastri now for the final 3 or 4 laps. I want to try and finish P4 here with 4 laps to go. There are 4 tenths between me and P4. Sort of playing golf, not Formula 1. 4! Oh, he is slow round here. That could be something we could use to our advantage next lap, if we're still within touching distance.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
That's good, thanks. I've got 3 more laps worth of bloody race left, so that's good to know. I cannot afford to make any mistakes behind Oscar now. This will be P4 or P5 today. And it depends who can race the cleaner and the smoother. Who can be braver on the brakes. I think Oscar might have me, you know. Probably going to have to go for it now. I'm going to try and get him into turn 2. We use the old sneak up the inside trick. I'm just not quite close enough. I've used all my battery to have that opportunity. Oh, slight mistake from him there though. Can I lunge up at 4? No, he's gone defensive. We've got him worried. We've forced him offline. He's gone deep. Bit of wheel-to-wheel contact.
Okay, just 2 laps of
We're gonna have the inside line here. But he's now gonna have the inside line for the next part of the track. But then I'm gonna have the inside line for the next part of the track. Oh my lord. Thing is, this isn't the last lap.
Brilliant, nice move. Keep going.
There's another one, yeah. And he'll just have me down the straight here. Of that, there's no doubt. I'm going to have to try and do what he's about to do to me, to him, on the last lap, if we want this P4. Which is unlikely. Oh, he's slow on exit there, though. Oh, stuck on a bloody curb. Right, come on.
Okay, mate, final lap.
I'm trying.
Concentration and let's bring it home.
Right. Up the inside, up the inside. Go, 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 go. Bit rude, but it's fine. Go! 4 tenths.
Okay, gap ahead is 8.3 seconds.
Come on. Gap's open to 6 tenths. It's coming back down again, though. Concentrate on the road, Ches, not the delta. I tell you what, 7.5 tenths. Make that 6. We might have done it. With all the battery down the straight, we might have done it. Lewis Hamilton wins the race. There are drivers in the pits on the final lap. I've no idea why. Lance Stroll is going to come home P2. That is a podium for Aston Martin. And a podium for McLaren as Lando Norris will cross the line. And it will be Aston Martin McLaren. Aston Martin McLaren. It was rude on the final lap. But we'll get it done. That's pleasing. Pole to P4 on paper doesn't look quite so good. But after our round in Australia and fighting quite so well against a number of other drivers in that Grand Prix. We have to be happy with that. We have to be happy with that. A P5 and a P4 so far this season for us. We'll just forget all about Australia, shall we? And that's strong points for the team. Very strong points for the team, actually, as it happens. So we'll see what that does for the championship, both for me and the drivers and Aston Martin in the constructors as we head to round 4. Of course, no Baku and no Jeddah this season. Oh, the ERS cooling has failed, unfortunately. No Jeddah, no Baku. That's why we had China. We will have Portugal later on in the season. That will pass, though, 100% definitively before Miami, which is good news. Now, what do we do before Miami elsewhere if we can? DRS I can afford. Drag reduction I can afford. That's going to be important. That should pass before Miami. Or at least it will have the opportunity to pass before Miami. I can't afford weight redistribution. We don't want to do tyre wear. Can't do weight reduction, and ERS will pass. Fuel efficiency is not that important for us. I'm going to go for the drag reduction. We'll go for drag reduction, and to be fair, I can afford the fuel efficiency as well. So we might do that as well, and hopefully they'll both pass, and we'll be in a great spot pre-Miami. Praying, of course, for no rain in Miami, because we know what... that's not great. Morale's gone up, though, so that should hopefully mean that things stand a better chance of passing. That's the ERS done. More resource points added. Both pass. Yes! Right, okay, it's been a fantastic day then. Really pleased with that. We got nearly 1,000. Accept or decline. Apologise to the charity. No, we'll go to the charity event. We'll go to the charity event for the development department. That's nearly 1,000 resource points to spend, plus practice to come for the next Grand Prix. And with regards to the performance index, we have improved the car ahead of Miami. Now, again, pray for no rain, please. Desperately pray for no rain, please. I probably should have gone for a harder tyre allocation for this Grand Prix as well. There is rain, but only in the middle of qualifying. It's a fully dry Grand Prix elsewhere. So we'll be happy enough with that. And oh my lord, we've gone further ahead in the performance index. Aston Martin flying sunshine. So we'll put, or hold, in fact, as the case may be in a majority of areas, these more worn parts. There's 20 odd laps in that only, no percentage. We'll hold those worn parts for practice. In the drivers, I'm up to 6th. Lance is up to 7th. And in the constructors, we are now 3rd behind McLaren and Mercedes, who have been very strong so far this year. Particularly pleased with the P4 and the P5 in Bahrain. Of our 2 races we've done so far this season, Miami will be really tough. I'm not expecting a strong performance there at all. It's, again, straight line speed where we will falter there. But maybe a strong middle sector can do us some good. We'll wait and see. That will come in the not too distant future. But for those of you watching on the YouTube channel, that's all for me for now. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any more. And of course, as ever, do come and join me on stream, whether that be on Twitch or on YouTube with the Chesnoid Live YouTube channel, which is very close to 1,000 subscribers now. So it'd be great if you came and joined me over there. And I hope to see you on stream at some point soon, if not back here on YouTube even sooner. Bye-bye.